In this video, I'm going to share my best altcoin picks for this cycle, and a lot of them are very, very obvious plays if you've been following any altcoins for the last 12 to 18 months. The problem with altcoins when they're breaking out is they only go up for literally weeks at a time, and then you get long corrections and then a few weeks of up again, and then the cycle's over. So you really don't have long to kind of select these and run with them. When you're analyzing charts, always scroll out, first of all, to either a weekly or probably better for altcoins, a daily chart. So that's what I've done here, because you really get an idea of the big picture. And I'm going to start with Solana, one of the most popular altcoins. Now, Solana is an easy hold for a lot of people, including myself, who trade meme coins a lot, especially meme coins on Solana. So every time you trade, you buy and sell, you're buying and selling in SOL. So if you have large bags of Solana, if the price is appreciating, so will your overall portfolio value in US dollars, obviously. Now, the question here is very simple. We're not far off kind of all-time highs here. So we're at 220 and 260 is the all-time high. So we're not a million miles away. But the question is very simple. This move here, did it end here? Did we end the correction here? That was my first thought, over the past few weeks and months. But this move coming out, I'm not 100% clear if it's impulsive. We're going to assume it's impulsive because we got a first impulsive move up. We get a 3-wave correction back, which is good. But then we should have had a 3rd wave, and these overlap. See, that overlaps with that. So the only way this could work is if this is a nest. And what that means is basically we're starting a very impulsive move up, and all we're seeing are the insides of this. So that's why you get that overlap there. And usually what happens is you can see the slope of this slowly getting steeper and steeper. These are all very, very good signs. But basically what needs to happen right now is Solana needs to continue what it's doing, but with barely any pullbacks. Because if this is indeed a 3rd wave, it should go straight up like that. So it should go straight up, and then we get a wave 4 and a wave 5. And then because of all of this overlap, we're still going to get at the very least another 3435, 3435. So we've actually got a long way to go even in this current move. This should really ramp up now. So if we're thinking this is all a bullish setup, which it very well could be now because there's volume coming back in the market and it's looking very impulsive, we need to get to 360, 400. So you need to know the other scenario as well. And this is what I thought could be happening when Trump won the election. I thought we'd get a pump, fine. But I thought we'd just tag the highs and then potentially we could get one final dump before we ran. That's what I thought is a possibility. And the reason for that is sometimes you get what's called expanded flats. We go down in a 3, go up basically in a larger 3, and then we go back down again. And I'll show you an example of that. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin here, we're basically tagged 85,000. So we're moving very, very quickly. And that's usually what happens in bull market cycles. Bitcoin usually is the first mover, and then you go into other alts, meme coins, stuff like that. But let me show you this. This is an area where we had a correction before. So when we came off the absolute lows in this cycle of 15,000 or so, we moved up and we hit a high here of 24,000. And then we had this move, which was a 3 down, a 3 up. We broke the highs back to 25. And then we had a big sell-off all the way back down to 19. This is called an expanded flat. This is the type of correction I was talking about in my last video. These are just normal corrections. So this is an impulsive move, normal correction. But sometimes you have this correction where you break up, you wick back down, wipe out a lot of leveraged kind of positions, and then up only from there. So I'm still mindful of that. But it's getting less and less likely the more bullish we get as we move up. And it's very easy to check that because all you do here is you go on trend-based fib extension off the high here, the previous high we hit, all the way to the wick low at 49, and then you go up. And usually the common areas are the 1.236, so that would have been 79, we're already past that. And the other area would have been the 1382, and that's 83, and we're past that anyway. The final line in the sand, if this is going to pull back at all, is 88. And then really you'd want to be seeing more kind of overlappy price action, and then potentially we could get a little pullback down. And this could all be a larger correction. Either it stops at 618 or goes all the way back down deep, and then we run. But it's looking less and less likely. And what's good to see here is if this is a nest, same as Solana, and we're getting a 1, 2, 1, 2, then we've got lots more to go. This is the almost strongest wave, most impulsive with the most volume. And then we get 4-5, 4-5, 4-5. So we get loads and loads of pushes up. So we should go way past 100,000 even in this current move. So everything will be clear, but it's looking more and more likely to be the bullish scenario rather than the bearish. Again, as a trader, I don't really care, because as soon as Trump announced we won, waited 24 hours, see how the market reacted to everything, and then that's it, all in on the best altcoins. So what are the best ones? Solana is one. I personally wouldn't trade Bitcoin because in terms of percentage gains, you're not going to make anywhere near as much. But the ones I've mentioned in previous videos, and I keep going back to, is you should already know the best coins even before the pump happened. Because we went through this, because these are the only ones that look very, very impulsive when everything else was corrected. One easy one is SUI. Actually hit now 3.35. Mentioned this many times in my videos last few weeks and months. Beautiful impulsive pattern, very small shallow corrections, and it's still looking very bullish. But again, you have to wait for pullbacks, even tiny pullbacks, if you want to chase this now. I probably wouldn't bother unless we get some more deeper correction if you want to jump back into this one if you're not in already. Next one, SEI, I like less so, but it's beginning to get momentum and it hasn't really had that SUI type breakout yet. So again, very messy chart, but potentially this could have a decent run. I don't think as good as the others. A better one actually, I think, that's yet to fully break out is Tau. Tau is another AI coin, and this one, nice impulsive three-wave move. This correction was a bit too deep, this one, so I didn't like that, but even then, it still hasn't tagged its previous highs. So if you find any altcoins that were previously running quite nice, haven't gone over their October highs yet, like SUI has gone way past it, this could be setting up. Little 1-2 here, and you could get, any day, you could get a random move here where this just goes up 20-30% in a day. So you want to position yourself, ideally. And overall, long term, the chart looks great for Tau, Betensa. Next, Jupiter. The initial low was all the way back in July, and I wondered if that was impulsive because it looked like 5 moves. But it's held. We've held that. We've pulled back here, very, very deep pullback. And again, we had this overlappy stuff, which we can't break down now. If we break down now, then this is definitely all corrective, and we're going to explore the lows. If this is impulsive, the only other thing that could be happening, there's literally only one other option now. It can't even really be an expanded diagonal. The only possibility is this is the beginning of something getting more impulsive, same as Solana, and we're absolutely going to moon now over the next few weeks. Don't know how long it's going to last. Maybe till inauguration, Donald Trump, something like that, or till Christmas, New Year's, and then we get a silent dump across the board. Who knows? So this might be the beginning signs of a massive Santa rally, or maybe we'll dump well before in early December. Who knows? Just be careful of news as well. So there is major news this week. So we've got the interest rates later this week as well. I think it's Wednesday, Thursday. Very, very important. Don't want to get any weird surprises there. Don't want to get inflation suddenly breaking out and suddenly they pause the rate cuts, stuff like that. Just anything that might be suddenly considered bearish and then everybody jumps on board and starts dumping their bags. Don't want that right now, because that could explain if we get a little dump. So just be careful about that. Ride the wave and just remember, if this structure is the way it should be looking, you shouldn't really be getting any deep pullbacks. So basically price in Jupiter or even Bitcoin, it shouldn't re-explore this area, because then we would have the overlap again and it wouldn't make any sense from a structure point of view. So in Bitcoin, it would make no sense now for it to be messing about around 67. It definitely can't break this low of 66 anytime soon. It just can't do it, because then it literally wouldn't make sense. It means this wasn't an impulsive 1-2-1-2 pattern. Simple as that. That's why we use market structure and we have levels, because then it's very, very obvious and clear. Volume is very easy. Click on indicators, click on volume here, and you've got an idea of volume, which in a third wave should be breaking out. And you can see here very clearly at the bottom, very similar to meme coin trading, the breakout of volume. That's what you want. So far, so good. Everything's looking good. Easy to ride these bags and see where we go. Others I like, but not as much, but definitely ones to either diversify into or keep an eye on, because they haven't ran as such yet, but they might be getting in position to run. So the early stages. So another one is FET. Again, I never really liked this move off the lows, but yeah, you can call it a 5. Big correction there. And then that's the wave 2 low. And then we might just be setting up to have liftoff here as well. Slightly increasing volume, slightly. Nothing crazy yet. The volume here was fine. Injective, another one that could move as Bitcoin's moving. Again, very nice breakout, 16 all the way to 26. But remember, if you zoom out, so, don't think you missed the boat with any of this, because if you zoom out, even in Injective, the newer coins, we're nowhere yet. And with some of the older coins, we're literally all the way down here somewhere. And we're going to have a look at a few of the old school meme coins as well very quickly today. Anything else, to be honest, all of the other coins, I just won't go near. Quick mention on a couple of old school meme coins. Doge, massive breakout. And look at the volume. You see very, very, very clearly. People aping into this, and it's running. It's running hard. So it got down to about 8 here, and it's just absolutely going vertical. Now, where are we in the grand scheme of things? Again, if you zoom out, all-time highs is still a long way away. Doge for me, just it makes zero sense. Unless you think it's going to go to several dollars. I just don't see why compared to a lot of the newer coins. I wouldn't understand the narrative. I don't think there's enough behind it, to be honest with you. I think it'll make a decent run. Maybe it'll tag highs and then pull back, and then that's it, done for this cycle. Or maybe it'll get some of the way up. I really don't think it's going to go to multiple dollars. I would only trade it if it's going to multiple dollars, because then you're going to get the 5x's. That's why I go for other meme coins. Go on my meme coin playlist on my channel. You can check those out. I have regular meme coin picks that I share with everybody. And these are way lower market caps, so anywhere between 10 and 50 million typically. WIF is actually looking pretty good and pretty early in the move. So we retested that breakout. So the initial move there could have been impulsive. So this could be first structure done, big pullback, and now crazy, look at the bottom, crazy volume coming in. Now, if this is a third wave, remember, we might just get a little 1-2 again, but then we should, in theory, have lift off. That's what should happen. So this exactly what I'm talking about here. See this? 1-2, 1-2, lift off. That should be happening imminently. That's why it's a more urgent video. So position yourself somewhere in coins that actually make sense, because the gains you'll make, you'll probably make gains across the board. Everything will go up a couple of percent and stuff like that, but some will go up ridiculous, some will go up not ridiculous at all. And that's where you really want to catch the meat of some of these moves in the more impulsive coins. And some of these, like for example, Koki Inu, this is one I discussed like 12 months ago on my channel. That's when it was doing stuff. I've mentioned many times on my channel not to go near this because there's no volume in Avalanche meme coins. So none of these are going to run, and you can see that clearly on the chart. You don't need to be a trading expert to see that. Could get a little kick and something interesting and stuff, but the multiples just don't make sense on this. It's not impulsive. You want to catch coins that are here, not dead like this. So just be careful about that. There is some volume coming in. Could get a little breakout. Maybe, it's a low risk, higher reward, even to get a few multiples here. So be open-minded. But I strongly think you should stick to the majors and the Solana meme coins. Remember, as a trader, you just trade what you see. You have your ideas, which way things could go, and your levels, which some of these moves actually make sense. Some of these you can't predict, like Crow going up. This is all new stuff, like related to FTX and stuff like that. You can't predict when they're going to do news. This is a horrible, horrible chart. But this horrible chart technically did have an impulse up, and it never broke the lows. Just a very deep 2. But now it's broken out. A lot of these can fade all the way back down. I see it all the time in things like Cardano and stuff. But if we think this has more legs, wait for a pullback or just leave it well alone. Because this is an otherwise dead, non-interesting coin that does nothing, that's just broken out due to news events that, some say they can predict, but a lot of the time it's very, very difficult. Better trade predictable charts. And as you look through your watch list, there's other ones you can spot too. Casper. So this has been breaking out a little bit, but again, if you zoom all the way out, kind of almost like a Bitcoin situation, it's just been sideways since November. So it's not been doing much, but now that it is breaking out, and it's in the right area, if the price is messing about around this area, you got to think that we could get a very, very nice breakout. Longer the accumulation, sometimes the larger the breakout. So it's worth it. For a risk reward, I think it's definitely worth it to have a little bit of exposure here as well. Again, get in on a nice little pullback and don't wait for it to run if it does break and then start buying it up here. Doesn't make sense, obviously. Part of this cycle is you're doing work too. Like I constantly check in. For example, this is meme coins. This is on Banter Bubbles, banterbubbles.com, and you can change this. So rather than meme coins, which you got down here, you can change it to other types of tokens. For example, you can do the AI tokens, and you can have a look and see what's moving here in the last hour. We can go for just today, what's moving. And this is how you do your research. Add some of the better ones to your watch lists and keep an eye on them. What's been up in the last week? And you see some of them move significantly, like 2x's in a week. That's a lot. So you need to take notice. Before there was this theory where, all the small caps, they move right at the end. They kind of do. That's why they get the real parabolic rises. But if you can get into some of these things early, it helps you. But you must do your own work and your own research. Any altcoins you'd like me to cover, just mention them in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.